Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. So, if you're like me and you're still confused about how AI agents work within Taskade and how you can use them to create automations and improve your workflow, then stick around as we go through an end-to-end example in this video of how to create agents and then how to create automations that work off of those agents that we create. By the end of this video, you should have a better understanding and a better grasp of this functionality within Taskade and be able to determine whether or not it's something that you can use in your workflow. So let's get started. So before I get started and dive into the actual details of this end-to-end example, I would like to mention that I do think these AI agents is a very powerful functionality that Taskade provides. However, I do think that the team itself has not done a very good job of showcasing these functionalities by providing real-life scenarios or real-life applications. As I do see online, there's a lot of people confused about how these really work, myself included. I played with them a little bit, but I'm still not an expert. So if the Taskade team ever does watch these videos, that is some constructive feedback that I can give, is to provide more examples, more walkthroughs, not just screen recordings, more walkthroughs with somebody actually explaining how to use a functionality in a real life scenario. But hey, that's just my 2 cents. I still love the application, and let's get started with this example. So what I'm going to try to do in this end-to-end example is I want to build an automation or a workflow that, based on a blog article title, I have an agent that researches the topic around that title, and then another agent that writes an article based on the research and findings of that first agent. So again, the initial input of this workflow would be a blog title, and the final output that we're looking for is a blog post, right? And with this example, we're going to be using 2 agents. So let's just keep that in mind as we're watching this video. Okay, so again, we're going to start with our blog post titles. So here I have a project inside my blog folder called blog article ideas, and I have here 10 to 12 blog articles or titles that I want to write. However, I don't want to write these myself. I want to automate and use an AI agent to help me with the writing and the research of these topics. So I'm going to go here on the third tab, the Agents tab, and I'm going to click on Create Agent. Again, the first agent that I want to create is going to be a researcher. And this is a good point for me to kind of talk real quickly what an agent is. You can think of an agent like an employee of yourself, obviously an AI employee that you can assign a particular kind of personality. So in this case, I'm going to create a researcher, and then we can kind of give it prompts and even give it background knowledge. I can start adding links, and I'll show this in a second, but I can start adding links, different media that kind of shapes the personality, if you will, of this researcher or of this employee that I am creating, so that I can ask it different things, and I know that it's already kind of trained, just as if it was a real person. It's trained based on the knowledge that I provided, and it's going to give me a more detailed or a more how should I call it, like a more precise answer as to what I'm looking for, because I have trained the AI agent beforehand. So really just think of them as AI employees of your workflow or of your company. So here I'm going to use one of the kind of presets that they have, a researcher. I can give it a different name if I need to and change the avatar. We won't worry about that right now, and I'm going to click Create. Once I click Create, kind of the agent customization pop-up window appears. I see here again the avatar, the name of the agent that I'm creating, and here I have instructions. So as of right now, I'm going to keep it very generic and just use the prompt or the instructions that Taskade provides, and it just says you are a researcher. Your task is to conduct in-depth research on various topics. Use your analytical skills and access to academic and industry resources to gather, analyze, and present data-driven insights. So here in the instructions, if you're already using other AI tools like ChatGPT or maybe Jasper AI, something else to write your articles or do the research for you, this is where you want to add that template if you already have one. Let's say you're already using another tool to do your research and you have certain prompts or certain guidelines that you input into that particular AI tool. This is the place where you want to throw those instructions in so that this new AI agent or AI employee of yours can follow the same guidelines. Here we can also change the tone, and if we need to, we can even choose the output language, which is really cool. But we'll just leave it as default. Then I'll go next to the tool sections. These right now just have web search. I'll go over that in a second, so we don't need to worry about this section right now. Then we come into the knowledge section. This part here is what I think, or where I think the power behind an AI agent really lies. So knowledge, again, these are media, documents, links, YouTube videos that we can add to this researcher as background knowledge. Basically, we're training the AI agent beforehand with all this data that we're providing so that the output that it gives us in the future, whenever we ask it something, it's more precise and more aligned with what we're looking for. In this case, what I'm going to do, this particular researcher, all my articles are around work-life balance. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a couple of links to existing articles around work-life balance that I want the AI to be trained on, and use those kind of as a base. I don't want to copy those word by word, but again, I just want to use or have the AI use them as part of its research when it researches these topics. I'm going to add a link to 2 news articles, and I'm also going to add, sorry about that, I'm going to add a PDF, top 25 jobs for work. Again, this is just another article, but I'm just showcasing here that I'm adding knowledge based on links. I've added 2 links, and I'm also adding knowledge based on a actual document or a PDF. Here I see the status of these documents or this media. It's ready, meaning the AI has gone through these 3 sources and now it's trained or has at least knowledge of these 3 things that I've linked kind of in this section. Next, we go into commands, and here we have some commands kind of preloaded for this researcher agent. So we have the investigate command, analyze data, report findings, create reports, forecast trends, etc. If you want to add your own command, you can. But again, I'm going to use the default ones, and I'm going to probably be using the investigate and create, just investigate, because I don't need to create a report again, because we're going to create a second agent to create the actual output. So for now, for this agent, I'm going to have it just investigate the topic, and for that I have the investigate command, and this is what the prompt is going to be. Here on this section, I am enabling web search, so this tells the AI researcher to go ahead and search the web if it needs to when it comes to researching topics. And again, if I need to give more specific instructions around this specific command, then I can insert those here. And I have also toggled here the use knowledge on, as I have already again loaded or linked several sources to this researcher AI agent. So once I have all of these settings completed, I'm going to click on update, and I see here that my research agent has been created. So now that we have created our researcher AI agent and we gave it some knowledge based on some articles online and as well as a PDF document, we are ready to create our automation, or at least start to create our automation. I'm going to click here in automation. I'm going to click create automation, and I'm going to start one from scratch. So again, keeping in mind that we have a project with a list of blog article titles that we want to research and write about, my trigger is going to be when a task is completed. Here I'm going to rename it to blog ideas. So when a task is completed in the blog article ideas, then I want to And what I'm going to choose here is I want to run an agent command. You recall when we were creating the researcher AI agent, we saw that we had different commands such as create report, investigate, analyze, etc. And each of those have their custom prompt telling the AI researcher agent what to do. Well, I want to run one of those commands based on the blog article title. I'm going to run an agent command. Here I'm going to select the agent. In this case, it's the researcher agent. Before I move on, let me just rename this to search. The command that I want to run is the investigate command, and the input for this command is going to be my task content. Again, my task content would be the blog article title from my blogs project. Finally, the last step, and we will change this last step once we create our writer AI agent, but for right now I do want to see the output of this investigation. So I'm going to create a project. The title is going to be the task content, so my blog article title, and the content is going to be the agent command result. So again, if I go to research, that's my second kind of step. I want the result of that investigation to be added as a new project. Select that, save changes, turn the automation on. Just rename my automation to auto 1. Now let's go back to my projects. So here I have my blog article ideas, and I'm gonna select or complete this article, achieving work-life balance, strategies and solutions. I'm gonna open up a second tab here. I'm gonna go to the automations just so that we can see the one we created. I go to runs, and I see here that I executed a run a couple of minutes ago, and the progress of it is 33%. Go back to my blog folder, and I don't see a new project yet, so the automation has not completed. Okay, now I went back in it. I see now that it's 100%. It says completed, so I do expect a new project once I refresh here to show up. There it is. And the output or the content of this project is the output of the investigation the research agent did. Right? So already we're at a very good start, right? Our researcher is working and the automation is working based on the article title that we complete. However, we're not done yet, right? This is just the investigation or the initial analysis that one of our employees did, researcher. We want to then create an article based on this research. Let's do that next. So next, let's create our second AI agent. Let me go back here to my blog folder. I'm gonna go to the Agents tab, and I'm gonna click on Create Agent. This agent, I want to be a blog expert, since I do want to write an article based on the research and analysis that my previous agent does. I'm gonna click Blog Expert. I'm gonna click Create. Here, very similar settings as the researcher AI agent we just created. You are the blog expert, a specialist in creating SEO optimized engaging blog content, etc., etc. This is kind of the general instructions for the writer, employee, or AI agent that I'm about to create. If I want to, I can add more details as to how many headings I'm expecting, how many words, etc. But as of right now, I'm gonna leave it default. Next, the knowledge tab. If I had certain guidelines, keywords, things that I want the agent to keep in mind or be trained on, I can enable knowledge and add those here. In this case, I don't have any but we already saw this functionality with the other researcher AI agent, so I won't be going through that. And then here we have our commands, and we have here a couple all around, creating or optimizing blog or written content. But I see here that this first one is the one that I'm gonna use the most, which is generate SEO blog post. If I go inside of it, I see that it already has a prompt. Let's read that quickly. Create an SEO optimized blog post on a given topic. Use appropriate templates and incorporate SEO friendly keywords to enhance visibility. Ensure the content is engaging, well structured, and provides unique information relevant to target audience. I am happy with this prompt. I don't think I need to add anything else. I think it's clear enough for the AI agent and should know what to do based on these instructions. And I like that the web search is enabled so that if it needs to, it can go online and search for whatever it needs. So here the update button is not enabled because I have not modified anything, so I'm just going to cancel out of there. And I see here that our blog expert AI agent has now been created. So now that we have created our second AI agent or writer, the last step would be to go back to our automation and update it. So if we recall, at the moment our automation is taking the output of our research AI agent and using that to create the project content. However, we do not want this now that we have a writer. We want the writer to take the research output of our first AI agent and use that output to write an article. Now I'm gonna go ahead and delete this step. I'm gonna click here on add step. I'm gonna run an agent command again. Edit this, rename it to writer. The action again is we want to run an agent command, but this time we want to ask our blog expert. The command that we want to ask our blog expert to perform is a generate SEO blog post, and the input won't be the blog article post title anymore. The input is gonna be the result of the research AI agent. Once I have that, I would need to then finalize the automation by creating a project and outputting the blog post that the writer AI agent generates as the content. If you need to, or if you want to take this a step further, you can connect your WordPress account and configure that as the last step, so that whatever output this agent provides will go ahead and post automatically to your blog or to your website. I won't do that at the moment, so I'm just going to create a project. Title, I still want the title to be the task content, meaning the blog post title, and the content of this new project will be the output but of the writer AI assistant, not the research. If I select that, I'm going to click on Save Changes. Open up another tab, go back to the blog folder, go back to blog article ideas. Let me complete another blog title. So this is the impact of work-life balance on employee productivity. We go to runs. I see here that another run just executed and it's at 25%. So let's give it a minute. And I should see here in my blog folder a new article with the title, The Impact of Work-Life Balance on Employee Productivity. Or a new project. I should see a new project here, and the content would be an SEO optimized article. See how the automation is doing. At 50% now. Do wish they had a refresh button here, but I don't see one. But there it is. Now it's at 100%. We go back to my blog folder and also refresh this. And I see now here the impact of work-life balance on employee productivity project has been created a few seconds ago. And here is the SEO optimized article. Kind of short for my liking, but again, you could probably play around with the prompts and the instructions of the writer AI agent and ask it to give you a more or a longer article. But hey, if the information is useful, then this is great. So there you have it. This was an end-to-end example of how to create AI agents and then use these agents in an automation to output a particular content. In this case, it was all related to content creation around blog articles in particular. But I am interested to see how you guys are using these AI agents and these automations. Obviously, content creation, there's already a lot of tools around article creation using AI, but I still wanted to show an example that's easy to follow and kind of a real life scenario on how you can create these agents and then use them in automations. But I am very interested to hear how you guys are doing this, maybe if you're even integrating these with other tools like Gmail or Google Calendar, Google Forms, etc. Those kind of bit more complex automations I'm really interested in. So happy to hear those out in the comments down below. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.